I stopped posting anything to do with my business on social media for 5 months. And guess what? It still grew. If you are a coach, creator, or online business owner who feels like your business only grows when you are glued to your phone, and you would love to build a social media optional system, this video is for you. Hi, if we haven't met, I'm Shanti, and I am a growth partner for solopreneurs who are ready to break serious revenue records without breaking down in the process. Most of us are spending way too much of our lives feeding platforms that don't really feed us back, at least not in the way that the many alternatives can. Now, social media as your main squeeze marketing channel is like McDonald's being your main source of nourishment. Like, yeah, okay, have a Big Mac once in a while, but you're not going to depend on that for your nutrients, right? So despite not posting on social media about my business in the last 5 months, I still managed to grow my email list by over 1,500 new subscribers and add 6 figures to my bottom line without once posting on Instagram. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how. There are 6 things that I'm personally prioritizing in 2026 to build a social optional business. All right, so before you get too jelly and think that this chick has it all figured out, I really don't. I am still not totally social media optional. In fact, I posted to my Instagram for the first time in a long time after coming into a little bit of a dry spell. So I haven't quite cracked the code on social media optional fully and completely yet. And I'm not Tristan Harris level anti-social media. I think that if it's working for you, beautiful. If you love it, fantastic. Do what you love, do what works. But there's so many small business owners and creators who it's not working. And they believe that it is the only option when it really is so far from the case. All right, so I am deeply interested and invested into cracking this. How do we build social media optional businesses that feel sustainable, that feel good, where the content that we create compounds and we're building a body of work and not just posting into the void and our hard-won wisdom disappearing like a fart in the wind, right? I'm so invested in this because, well, I can't even explain it better than, ironically, this guy I found on Instagram. So let me read you this post and just prepare yourself because it's a little bit jarring. The life ledger is terrifying. If you live to 90, you theoretically have 600 months left, but nature demands 200 months, 16 and a half years for sleep. Capitalism extracts 120 months, 10 years for work. Basic maintenance burns another 68 months, 5.5 years. You start with a raw budget of only 212 months, 17.5 years of potential freedom. Then comes the digital tax. The average American now spends 7 hours daily on screens. This is not a habit, it is a temporal heist. Over the next 50 years, this addiction will delete 192 months, 16 years from your remaining timeline. You are voluntarily donating your scarcest asset to algorithms. The net profit is your tragedy. After paying the Silicon Valley toll, you are left with 20 months. 1.6 years. These are the only months available to raise your children, build a legacy, or see the world. The rest is just biological overhead and digital servitude. This is voluntary amputation. Those 192 lost months are not relaxation. They are dopamine mining. Scrolling does not encode into long-term memory because it lacks emotional weight. When you look back at 85, these decades will appear as a gray fog. You are deleting your own biography. You are not a user, you are livestock. Tech giants harvest your attention span to power their AI models. Every hour on a screen is a transfer of wealth from your life account to their stock price. You are trading your limited existence for pixels. Will you fight to reclaim the 192 months, or will you die with a fully charged phone? So this is an especially conflicting experience when you make a living and have built a career and a business reaching people through the power of the internet. It is beautiful. And also, we are exceptionally susceptible to getting sucked in to spending all of our free time and work time glued to a screen. I know I'm not alone in this conflicting experience, which is why I did what I did. Let me tell you about it. One thing I'm really good at is noticing patterns. In October, I killed my existing membership community, which was a really difficult decision because it's not like it wasn't working. I had plenty of members, they were loving the experience, but it felt like it wasn't solving the most pressing problem for the people in my audience, in my orbit, who from them, I'm hearing constantly. I'm posting every day on social media, I'm not getting results, nothing's working, and behaving as if that was the only path forward or the best one. And so I killed my community and my old membership to make space for something new to be born. Enter Known. Known is a program and a community that I created with the mission to help online business owners, creators, and coaches build the assets and the system that they would need, that they do need, if they have even a hope of building sustainable lead flow and sales system without relying on social media. The whole premise is to become known without being glued to your phone and to spend your precious resources, your time and energy on things that aren't designed to extract it and siphon it to sate the unceasing, never-ending hunger of the machine. So that's why I created it. And we are, well, 5 months in. Funny story how I stopped posting on social media for my own business 5 months ago so that I could really live the teachings. Now I am feeling out the middle ground of posting a little bit on social because I know that my people are there hanging out, and I'm not like a big potato huge creator by any means. I have like 4,000 Instagram followers, but these are real humans who, many of them, have this same problem that I'm solving. So I'm exploring what it looks like to post a little bit here and there, but one thing I'm not ever doing again is deprioritizing the platforms like YouTube, like Substack, and there's 5 other things I'm going to tell you about in this video for building a social media optional business if that's your jam. I'm not deprioritizing that stuff ever again, like I had in the past when I thought I needed to crack the social media code, which, like, hint, what a waste of time. When you are only one person, you have to prioritize the things that actually consistently make a difference. And social media is a lottery. If you are just one person, your time is limited and you need to guard it with your life. Let's talk about the 6 things that I am doing that I teach in Known for how to build a social media optional business in 2026 and beyond. Okay, so right now there is this rhetoric rampant in the online space that courses are dead. X is dead, courses aren't dead, email isn't dead, webinars aren't dead. The only thing that's dead is the life force energy behind the message. Your aliveness, your excitement, your enthusiasm is felt in all that you do. So when was the last time that you clarified what you want to be known for? Why you do what you do? Who you do it for? Not the you from 3 years ago, but you today. And maybe more importantly, the future you, the future self and business that you are working so hard to build. Knowing what you want to be known for sounds so simple, but it is the main symptom when things just aren't hitting, no matter what platform you are on. My future self doesn't want to be boxed in like my past self was. I want to be known as the interdimensional systems strategist who goes deep and helps you grow in a way that serves your life, your innate gifts, your design, and what you are here on this planet to do. Knowing this allows me to make moves that line up with that reality, one of which is speaking to a major drain of life force energy on many business owners, which is social media, and presenting alternatives, of which there are so many. So thing number one, if you want to build a social media optional business, is knowing what you want to be known for. Now, number two are owned assets. So despite what the internet keeps telling us, I'm not totally convinced that AI is making the majority of business owners more productive. I think it's making a lot of us more overwhelmed and leading to more first drafts and half-baked ideas that we can't fully trust. You only get paid for what you ship. And if you're reading this, if you're listening to this, you likely don't ship skincare or bamboo toothbrushes, you ship change. People buy from you to go from A to B. You communicate that transformation through your assets. Your website, your sales pages, your sequences, your automations, your campaigns, your content, your conversion events, all of it. And the right asset at the right time can change the trajectory of your business in a really big way. So what assets are you building? In my opinion, the assets that you should be building if you want a social optional business are an owned audience, i.e. growing your email list, or things that directly help you to make sales. So for me, the assets that I'm prioritizing in this season, one is this evergreen training that I developed on how to build a social optional business, which you can grab below. I'm also building email sequences that capture 99% of the people who don't buy from me right off the bat. And those are designed to just nurture and love them up and identify who they are and what they're focused on and immerse them in my worldview before plunking them back onto my main list and just sending them into whatever launch I'm doing next or sending them my newsletter. And then the last thing is a new super stacked, low ticket, no brainer, easy yes offer focused on growth and designed to call in my dreamiest of dream future growth partner clients. So the third thing that is really essential for building a social optional business are nurture and discovery platforms. You can't just stop posting on social media and expect for people to magically find you, right? Now, this for me looks like Substack. And as of writing this, I have around 43 subscribers. So this guy is a slow burn, but so far it's really fun. And I don't feel like I'm posting into the void. I feel like I'm building my body of work in a way where it can actually be discovered. Now, YouTube is another platform where you can have one video that drives traffic and results for months or even years. Now, again, that doesn't happen overnight. So the growth paradox is never far from the top of my mind. And that is that growth takes a much longer time coming than you think, and then it happens much faster than you ever could have imagined. And when you know this, you move differently. It becomes worthwhile to spend the time it takes on the slow burn strategies like YouTube, like Substack. Now, thing number 3 is borrowed trust. I remember teaching my oldest son about the Tower of Trust when he was little. So we painstakingly built a giant Lego tower, one brick at a time, and then he got to kick it over. And I explained that tower was trust. It takes a long time to build, and one wrong action can destroy it. Now, in hindsight, that's a little bit of a hardcore lesson for a little kid, but it's one that we all learn eventually. And trust on the internet is even harder to build and easier to break, which is why borrowing it is the ultimate hack. If you can get in front of someone else's audience that they've spent years building trust with, you get to borrow that. And while you still need to prove that you are awesome, you're starting from 20 instead of 0, which is a major leg up. Last week, I borrowed trust from a peer with 90,000 people on his email list, and he shared my training with all of them. I did the same for him with my audience. Win-win-win. He wins, I win, and so do both of our audiences. Thing number 4 that I am doing to build social optional systems is going all in on Pinterest. So back in 2014, I had a food blog and Pinterest was my top traffic source. 12 years later, when I look at the analytics for that website, there are still pins driving traffic to the site, which is actually insane because I have not posted on that website or onto Pinterest in 12 years. So Pinterest is a search engine, and the average pin lasts 1,600 times longer than the average Instagram post, which is personally as much convincing as I need to give it a shot for my current business. That said, if Substack is a slow burn, Pinterest is a burn through many lifetimes. It takes time, but it's low lift. Last thing I want to talk about is paid ad. The reality is that your people, my people, they still use Instagram, and our job is to show up where our people are hanging out. So meta ads allow you to do that. Do they still require effort? Of course. And that's maybe the crux of all of this, is that it all requires effort. It all takes time. But the time passes anyway, and we can do things that stack the odds in favor of our future selves and businesses. Now, I got some flack in the comments for running ads to a training on building a social optional business on social media, but these two things are very different beasts. I created this ad in under an hour that drove over 800 signups to my training. I didn't have to be glued to my phone and thinking of fresh creative every single day to do it. All right, so part of the siren song of social media is that it can work really quickly, right? You can get results fast. It's like playing the lottery. You put the effort in because you know that there is a modicum of a chance, statistically about a 0.000000000.1% chance that you could go viral, and that could change everything for you. Okay, no, actually, no. Not the case. Because, well, first of all, we know that fast doesn't equal sustainable. Viral doesn't even equal money. I have had so many clients, so many peers go viral, and they're like, oh, what was the fuss about? Really? This post got 1 million views and I just got, 100 new subscribers and maybe a handful of sales? Like, viral does not equal results. And fast does not necessarily equate to what we actually want. For me, what I want is slow burn, compounding, sustainable, to be rewarded for playing the long game. I always joke that my spirit animal is a cockroach because, you can't kill me. And that is an unfair advantage in this crazy time that we are living in. So if you are interested in what I'm interested in sustainable growth, in results that compound, in extricating yourself from the social media machine, or at least creating some options, I have a free training that you can check out below. It's called the Anti-Social Visibility System. And if you are interested in getting some one-to-one support, check out my growth partner offer. You can learn all about it and apply below. I have a few spots for new clients, and I would love to help you make social media optional a reality in your business. All right, friend, that's it for today. If you liked this video, please drop a comment. Tell me how you're feeling about social media these days in your own business and beyond. And like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.